Well, so here I'm in the cabin of the Hyundai Venue, and the first thing that you'll really be impressed by is the overall quality of the interior. The quality of the cabin is by far ahead of the Nexon. The Nexon also is solidly made, but some of the switchgear isn't that good. Over here, you can't really find any fault with even these smaller switches or these smaller buttons. It's a calm and very nice cabin to be in, and it's also a very sophisticated cabin to look at. Now, in terms of features, all these cars nowadays come with more or less the same kit. All of them come with a sunroof, all of them come with a start-stop button. All of them now have Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. The advantage that the Venue has over that one is in the fact that it gets wireless charging for your mobile phone, but of course you need to have an expensive phone for that. You also get a cool glove box, and a very thoughtful touch is this air purifier which comes as standard. And of course the biggest big boon on this car is the Blue Link app, which means that you can download the app on your phone and you can start this car from the outside. You can check a lot of features inside the car, start it, as well as see how the temperature is set. So that's the big advantage that no other car in this segment offers. So that is the real advantage of the Venue over the Nexon. Well, so when you compare the Nexon with the Venue, it's clear to see that this dashboard and the design now looks a little outdated compared to that car. That's a fresh car, so the comparisons between a fresh car and something which has now been there for almost 2 years. In terms of the overall quality, it's neck and neck. Some of the smaller switches here aren't of the best materials, but overall quality is quite good. Inside the Nexon, one thing that this car does which the Venue can't do is this. You just remove the bottle and hear that once again. That's a very safe and very reassuring kind of door closing noise, and this is something that the Venue or any other car in this segment can't really match. This car also comes with 5-star Euro NCAP rating, which means it's the safest car in the compact SUV space. Now, in terms of seat comfort, the seats are very good. They're very cushiony seats, but the infotainment system on this car really isn't even close to that car, because the Hyundai Venue has the advantage not only in terms of features, in terms of apps, but in terms of the sheer quality of the touchscreen. So in overall terms, both these cars are evenly matched. This one offers you great safety because of its 5-star rating, as well as that very solid door heart. But in terms of the features, in terms of the style, in terms of the overall apps, the Venue has the advantage. Now let's jump in the back seat and see which one is better. So here we're in the back seat of the Venue. Now, in terms of the knee and hip angle, you sit at a nice 90 degree. You have a nice backrest angle. The seat support is also very good. Support for your lower back is also good. And you also get an armrest where you can keep a couple of beverages. There is a bit of a hump in the floor panel, but that's not too much. But in terms of knee room, it is decent. It's behind the Nexon, clearly behind the Nexon. Headroom is at par with that car, but yes, in terms of knee room, it is behind that car. So if you want a car to be primarily chauffeur driven and don't care about anything else on the car, then you will prefer that one. Well, compared to the Venue, in terms of the back seat, it's a clear advantage to the Nexon. This car has more knee room and similar headroom, but more knee room definitely. The seats also are more comfortable. They offer you more cushioning and much better support for your under thighs, much better support for your lower back. So overall, I don't think that I should go further. This car has the advantage in terms of the back seat compared to the Venue. Well, so when you compare the Tata Nexon with the Venue, in terms of the diesels, this one offers you a little more power as well as more capacity. It's a 1500cc engine, that is a 1400cc. Now, in terms of the drivability, both cars are again identical, because this one also has a little bit of turbo lag below 2000 RPM. So really it's neck and neck. The big difference, or the big major advantage this car has over the Hyundai Venue, is in the fact that the Nexon is superb on the highway. If you take this car on the highway, or even if you drive it in the city, the suspensions on the Nexon is superb. It soaks in all the bumps, and if you're on the highway and doing speeds in excess of say maybe 100 kph and you suddenly see a badly patched up road, you will not have to slow down. You will be confident enough that this car's suspension will be able to handle it, and you will simply fly over that badly patched up road. This is the big advantage that this car has over any other car in this segment. For slow city speeds as well as for faster highway speeds, it is the Nexon which has the best suspension out of both these cars. Now in terms of the gearbox, the manual gearbox on the Nexon is slightly behind the Venue, that's for sure. And you also get an AMT, which is decent to operate. In terms of the steering wheel, it's got good feel and good feedback. But again, it's slightly on the firmer side, slightly heavier, more weightier than the Venues. So you might feel tired at the end of a long journey once you've driven it. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. Now in terms of the driving bits, this car doesn't have that same kind of dynamic handling that the Venue has, and neither does it feel as agile. But to be honest, people who buy these cars don't buy them for agility, they buy them more for a peace of mind factor, for driving safely and securely, and for just getting from point A to B. And this car offers the best, remember, in terms of the overall safety. It offers you 5 stars, and just the ride and overall the solid build quality is enough to give you that peace of mind factor. Overall, if I had to give it a score, I'd give it an 88 compared to the Hyundai Venue. In its own terms, it definitely is a good car, but in terms of comparison, I'll give this one an 88 compared to the Venue. Well, so the big difference between both these cars, the Nexon and the Venue, is in the fact that this one has a slightly smaller engine. It's a 1.4, the Nexon is a 1.5, and understandably, it also produces less power. This one is the same engine, which is also used by the Hyundai i20. So yes, understandably it has less power, but it is surprisingly more refined than the Nexon's engine, especially when hitting speeds on the highway. And a large reason for that is because this one comes with a 6-speed manual gearbox, which is a very good gearbox to use. And the 5th and 6th gear really do extend the flexibility of the engine and make the cabin a very isolated and nice place to be in. In terms of overall steering wheel feedback, it really is neck and neck between both these cars. The good point, of course, about the Hyundai, or any Hyundai for that matter, is that everything, all the controls, are really nice and light. They offer you very nice and light controls, and the gearbox as well as the clutch and the steering, all of them are very light, the clutch especially and the gearbox as well. If you've ever driven a Hyundai i20, then the Venue will remind you of that, because the gearbox has that same kind of positive but light action to it. The clutch also has a nice and linear feel to it, and this makes this car the ideal kind of compact SUV for the city, because you don't want a car which offers you heavy steering wheel, a heavy clutch and a heavy gearbox, because you'll tire out. So the Nexon is a little heavier in the control department than this one is. Now in terms of overall ride comfort, the ride of the Venue is quite good, but it has a slight stiff edge to its suspension, which means that some of those rumble strips and some of those potholes in the city can filter through. So in terms of overall driving, I think I would give the Hyundai Venue a decent score of 89 out of 100 when you compare it with the Tata Nexon. So today's winner is undoubtedly the Hyundai Venue. It might not offer you the same kind of space in the back seat as the Nexon, and the Nexon also might offer you better build quality, but that said, this one also offers you a very classy interior. It comes with a long list of features and a more refined diesel engine than the Nexon. That's not all. The Hyundai badge also means that dealers as well as after sales will offer you more peace of mind than the Tata Nexon. So overall, this one has the advantage. I give it a strong score of 90 out of 100, and the Nexon gets an 88. It's bye for now, and hope to see you soon.